Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Today, we're going to talk about high-risk Magic the Gathering singles cards that run the risk of bans and restricted announcements and all the things. I'll just show you all. We got a bunch of Rhystic studies here from a collection that I picked up. A guy who I have been doing a lot of deals with. A lot of the recent cards and bigger collections you've seen have come from actually one or two people who just kind of inherited a bunch of cards or got a bunch of cards. These are real. I know what you're going to tell me. They're not. They've all been looped. This guy had a huge box of vintage Magic cards, and after he found out that Rhystic Study was an expensive card, I had bought a bunch of his other cards. He found out that it was a common in Prophecy, and he's like, hey, I have a box of Prophecy commons, like a 5,000 count box, all Prophecy commons. He's like, how many Rhystic Studies do you want to buy? I was like, I will buy all of your Rhystic Studies. And he sold me half of them. So yeah, the Rhystic Study is what we're kind of talking about. But I really want to talk about the new Game Changers list and Commander. Rhystic Study is the perfect example of a card that has really no inherent value outside of the Magic the Gathering Commander format. I mean, it's a wonderful card, it's a beautiful card, yada, yada, yada. But Magic's all about playability, and the card is a staple in Magic, in Commander, and Rhystic Study is on the potential for a ban. Rhystic Study could get banned, and if Rhystic Study got banned in Commander, I would lose my shirt here. I would lose all the value. I would probably end up losing money even based on the rates that we buy these cards at. I would end up losing a considerable amount of money. But I want to talk to you guys about my thoughts on the Game Changer list. I want to hear your thoughts on the Game Changer list and the way that it affects the value of cards like Rhystic Study. Smothering Tithe would probably be in that boat too. Cards that have the potential of getting banned or the potential of going on that Game Changer list. My philosophy, is that I always buy cards. I'm not going to not buy Rhystic Studies because I think they're on the verge of being banned. The fact is, this card will sell very quickly. We can list 2 or 3 of them at a time. They will sell very quickly. We'll just keep listing them until eventually we sell out of them. And I'm not investing in Rhystic Studies. This is a purchase of somebody who didn't want to do the work to sell all the cards themselves. That is what we do. I'm not saying to invest in them, but I am saying that we buy cards that do run the risk of getting banned because these are the cards that people want. People want to buy Rhystic Studies. They want them because they're popular. They're getting potentially banned because they're good cards. So you have to be able to buy cards that have high risk. You can't just avoid them because Rhystic Studies are cards that make sales. These cards right here will sell other cards in our inventory because people will want to buy a Rhystic Study and they'll end up using that optimizer on TCG Player, and you'll end up having a lot of sales of other cards coming from having Rhystic Studies listed. So I wanted to address that first because I know a lot of stores avoid cards that have the potential to get banned and they're a little bit more skirtish about buying them. Maybe we just do so much volume, but we just kind of buy everything. We don't really pay attention to the risk of a card getting banned. And when we lose, and sometimes you win. It kind of is what it is. But I think that the Game Changer list actually makes the odds of Rhystic Study, Smothering Tithe, blah, 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 of these cards getting banned less. I think the chances of these cards getting banned goes down because of the Game Changer list. And I think that's a huge win for cards. I don't feel good when Rhystic Study gets banned. Neither do you. And the consumer loses, the stores lose, everybody loses. If you put these cards on that Game Changer list, it kind of restricts them to not get as powerful as you would have been if there was just no ban list or that kind of thing. And so it also, the other benefit of the Game Changer list that I haven't heard anybody really talking about is that it's actually an advertisement for Rhystic Study. If you're a new Magic the Gathering player and you're building a Commander deck and you're looking up the Game Changers and you're trying to figure out, are you a 1, 2, 3, or 4, you find this card and you're like, holy moly, that's a great card. I never knew that card existed. And there are people who don't know that Rhystic Study exists. A lot of people who don't know what Rhystic Study is. And so if you put these cards on this list that's like, hey, Magic player, here's the best cards in the game. These are on the Game Changer list. all of a sudden you have people saying, oh man, that's a really good card. I'm going to optimize my deck to this power level, to this, game changer level, and I'm going to choose Rhystic Study because that's the best one on the list for my deck. So all of a sudden you've got this game changer list that actually acts as a tool to advertise for the cards that would have potentially been on the ban list. I think that's a major, major deal. And then on top of that, you have this kind of lower end side where what if they kind of expand this list where you have higher power levels, higher than I think the highest level is 4. So what if they mix them up and they have a 1 through 5 now, and all of a sudden you have a no ban list commander at this super tier list that's like kind of accepted by Wizards of the Coast, that you have this no ban list commander. I'm talking things I know everyone's going to go crazy and totally never happen. But Sarah Sanctum, a card that, what if that happens with the game changer list, where you have a card that gets picked up that was banned, but now there's a secondary level for Magic the Gathering where you have a no ban list commander that is officially supported. I really like the Canadian Highlander ideas, which is that cards have a point value based on them. It's almost like Warhammer. And I could see something like that as we are going through this game changer list. I could see them adding a point value system to Magic where Rhystic Study gets 10 points, whatever it is, and your deck can have a total of, if you're building a level 4 deck, it can have a total of 400 points, or, I don't know exactly how it works, but they give cards point values instead of banning and restricting them in Commander. So you want to play a Sarah Sanctum? Great, you can play a Sarah Sanctum. It's 150 points out of your maximum number of 200 points or whatever. Those types of things have huge resulting consequences on cards like this. There is a whole slew of things that can affect the price of a card, a ban, but also the way that Magic is going now, the way that they are changing up this restriction stuff and the game changers, there's a lot of upside potential. So you don't want to avoid cards like this. Again, I am not saying to buy a stack. This is 75 or 76 Rhystic Studies. I'm not saying to buy a stack of 75 Rhystic Studies and put them in a vault and hope that they go up in value over time. That is not what I am saying. I am saying as a store, as a consumer, you can't avoid the good cards as a result of a ban. And I think at some point, things like the new way of doing Commander actually give value to these cards, potential upside value to them. So let me know what you think about cards like that. Yell at me in the comments section, but we just buy cards and sell cards, and this is what comes in. I can't control what comes in. All I can do is make a decision on if I buy it or not. And that's one of the things that we were thinking about when purchasing, I don't know what the math is, $2,000 worth of Rhystic Studies, $4,000, I don't remember what it was. Lots of money worth of Rhystic Studies. Have yourselves a great day. Be kind to the people around you. Join the Discord server over at KitchenTableTCG.com and have some good conversations with people who enjoy the game like you. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.